The fog clung to Hollow Bay like a living thing, wrapping the cliffs in a suffocating grey. Elias Mercer arrived in the early evening, dragging his suitcase over the slick cobblestones. The town seemed abandoned, but from the corner of his eye, shadows flickered, figures just out of focus. The lighthouse loomed in the distance, perched on the jagged cliffs. Its paint was chipped, metal rusted, and windows black as coal. Local whispers had warned him to stay away, but he didn't care. He needed solitude, an escape from the city and its ceaseless noise. The caretaker's quarters smelled of mildew and old seaweed. In the center of the room, a journal lay open on a table, pages yellowed with age. On the first page, in careful, looping handwriting, "Do not trust the light. Do not climb. Do not awaken what sleeps." Elias laughed uneasily. Superstitious nonsense. But that night, the fog pressed against his window like a living hand. And somewhere above, the lighthouse pulsed. He couldn't sleep. Drawn by a compulsion he didn't understand, Elias ascended the spiral staircase. The wind whipped through cracks, howling like tortured souls. At the top, the lamp was shattered, but inside, a red light throbbed like a heartbeat. And he saw it, a creature crouched among the shards. Its head twisted in impossible ways, multiple eyes tracking him simultaneously. Clawed hands etched his name into the broken glass. From below, something screamed, deep, wet, inhuman. It wasn't just a noise. It felt wrong, vibrating in his chest and teeth. Elias ran, but the lighthouse had shifted. Stairs stretched impossibly, walls elongated. Shadows reached for him, grasping, crawling, clawing. At the lantern room, the creature was gone. Instead, the red light condensed into a figure, a woman with hair like tar, skin mottled as if covered in bruises, eyes like black stars. She spoke in every whisper Elias had ever feared, dragging syllables across the air like blades. "Elias, you've come to witness, to serve." Elias fled the lighthouse and into the town. Hollow Bay's streets were empty, save for the occasional abandoned fishing boat rocking in the harbour. But the locals were watching him. Not curious, afraid. Old man Grafton, who ran the only diner, shook his head. "You shouldn't be here," he whispered. "The lighthouse, or it hungers. Every generation it takes one." Some say the last caretaker went mad, disappeared into the light. Others were pulled into the sea. Elias discovered the journal belonged to Grafton's father, a previous keeper. The entries detailed a ritual gone wrong decades ago, summoning something from beneath the waves. Every caretaker since had disappeared or died in horror. At night, the fog brought voices, faint, pleading, screaming. Children heard them. Fishermen heard them. And the lighthouse's light pulsed red, calling them. Elias's neighbour, a young woman named Mara, dared to follow him one night to the cliffs. Together they saw the red glow, and the air vibrated with a low hum. Then the water erupted. Figures crawled from the sea, skin black as ink, eyes wide and unseeing. They whispered secrets in voices that were once human. Mara screamed as one grabbed her ankle, pulling her toward the black water. Elias tried to help, but the shadows dragged her beneath, leaving only her hands twitching above the surface. He pulled her free, but her eyes were gone, replaced by black, hollow pits that seemed to absorb the fog. It was the lighthouse. It had marked her. Elias pored over the journal, piecing together the ritual. The lighthouse wasn't just a tower, it was a conduit, a prison for the sea witch that had once terrorized the coast. It required sacrifice to maintain its seal. But decades of neglect had weakened it. Now the entity could reach out, pulling the living into its red light. One entry chilled him to the bone. Break the lantern, release the blood, and it will consume or be consumed. The choice is not yours. The entity wasn't just outside. It could invade minds, twist reality, make the lighthouse infinite, labyrinthine, bending space and time. Determined to end the horror, Elias ascended the lighthouse once more. This time, the stairs seemed alive, the walls pulsing with a wet, organic texture. Faces appeared in the plaster, screaming silently, pressing fingers through the stone. At the top, the red light had become a pool of viscous liquid. The sea witch emerged, hair like a wave of oil, arms stretched impossibly long, mouth full of jagged teeth. She laughed, a sound that made bones ache, that twisted reality. From the shadows, Elias saw Mara, or what she had become. Her hollow eyes blinked, teeth clattering in imitation of human speech. She whispered, "Join or flee, it is your choice." Elias grabbed a metal rod, smashing the glass lantern. The red liquid recoiled, screaming. The sea witch shrieked, faces trapped in her form exploding in black ichor. The walls shook, the sea roared, and the lighthouse twisted into impossible shapes. Elias dove from the top into the black waves below. The fog swallowed him. When he awoke, dawn broke over Hollow Bay. The lighthouse was still, silent. But the town knew it wasn't over. Ships would disappear. Children would wake screaming. And in the fog, sometimes, the red light flickers again. Elias was alive, but changed. He could see shadows moving beneath calm waters, whispering secrets of the deep. And he knew one thing: the lighthouse waits. Always. And one day, it will call for him again.